I'm going to pause here because it usually takes a few seconds, and then it's boom. There we go. My peeps, my peeps, my peep, my peep, my peeps. That was actually going to be the name of the episode, but I decided to go with, hey, brand new episode of Dylan Knows, episode 433. That's a wrap on the Batman Peeps. So that just gives you an idea of some of the stuff we'll be discussing today on Dylan Knows. It is, what day is it? I keep forgetting. It is March 5th right now, even though it's going to change in about 15 minutes. March 5th, 2022, here in Reisterstown, Maryland. We are getting ready to enter a mid to late spring weather system, even though spring doesn't start till March 20th, with some 70-degree weather and up. I think they're talking about, let's see. The weather here in Baltimore, as always, is weird. We got 73 tomorrow, 75 Monday, 54 Tuesday, 46 Wednesday, 54 Thursday, 61 Friday, 54 Saturday, 43 Sunday, and 54 Monday. So, yeah. Plus, earlier this week, they said that we were going to have 50 degrees and snow. So, what? I don't know. Anyway, there's more going on. This week, we had a busy week this week. Beginning of March, Mardi Gras, Lent started. It was March 2nd. I forget. My wife's birthday, take your action figure to work day. And now we're here March 5th. Not much going on. March 6th tomorrow, not much going on. And then all next week, really nothing happening. And then we get to the next weekend. This time next weekend, you'll be turning your clocks ahead an hour. So I'm probably going to be doing this show a little earlier than usual since we'll be turning our clocks ahead an hour. So, it's 11:45 right now. So I might have to start doing the show around 10:30 next Saturday in order for me to get to the right spot where I'm supposed to be, because we are going to be turning our clocks ahead an hour next Sunday. And then after that, we got another busy week. We got Pi Day on 3/14. We've got the Ides of March on March 15th. We've got St. Patrick's Day on the 17th. So that ain't for a couple weeks, but we got some stuff coming up that rolling there through here. This week also, I brought about the new Batman movie. We'll talk about what's being said about that and some early projections on the money it's making. We've got some deaths, including one of a local person I know. Craven the Hunter had a whole bunch of casting this week. We'll talk about that. Some reboots, ideas resurfacing. Peeps are all over the place here. We've got some trailers. We've got butter bunnies. We've got cream-filled beavers, which I almost named the episode, but then I thought people who would be looking at that might be thinking that it's porn, but it's not porn how I'm using it. We'll have a little bit of discussion about the Ukraine, not much. New comic book groups coming out, which I'll talk to you about in a second. Iced tea fruit snacks. Some good news on the Futurama front, some Baby Yoda stuff. SAG Awards have begun awards time, I guess you can say. Pokemon's got some interesting news this week because it was Pokemon Day as well this week, earlier in the week. A lot of films are finished their have wrapped their filming for now, so we'll see what happens. Sequels, reviews, amusement park tickets. Tom Holland is the king of the box office again. The hell is this? God, I hate my handwriting. I hate when I have one of these. So I don't know what that is. Some casting news, more white animals, which I've been telling you about, is showing a weird sort of rise in the sight of rare white animals, as if something is going to be coming, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. So here we are, 4 minutes in. Technically about 5 minutes in. So let's begin. A bunch of stuff finished, wrapped this week. Daniel Radcliffe has finished filming his role in the Weird Al biopic. his role wrapped this week. We also get a little bit more of the cast. Evan Rachel Wood will be playing Madonna. Rainn Wilson will be playing Dr. Demento. And there were some other actors I didn't recognize their names that are in it as well. But he has finished filming his role as Weird Al. So that's interesting like that. Good Omens 2, which no one really thought was going to happen because there was only one Good Omens book. But here's the thing. It was written by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. Terry Pratchett passed away years ago. And after the success of the original Good Omens miniseries with David Tennant and Michael York, I think I want to say. Maybe not York, but Michael something or other. Sheen, that's what it was, Michael Sheen. People were clamoring for a sequel. It was like, well, we don't have a sequel book, but they decided they would go to Neil Gaiman and say, hey, do you have any ideas for a potential sequel? Could you write a potential sequel? And he was almost like saying, I can't really do it without Terry because it's both of our, it's both of our ideas. But then he said, but before he died, we were working on a sequel to Good Omens. We just never got around to writing it, but we have all these notes down. While we use that for a new season. So like sold. So Gaiman ended up writing more using the notes that both he and Terry wrote. Now, does that mean that there's going to be no Good Omens 3? Possible, because there's probably going to be no more Terry stuff since he passed away, but we'll see how that goes. But Good Omens 2, the series, the first one was on Amazon Prime. The second one is going to be on Amazon Prime. They finished filming this week. Indiana Jones 5. I'm saying that Indiana Jones 5 also finished filming this week as well. I'll come back to it. I know it's around here somewhere. I'll come back to it, though. I can't find it right now. It'll pop up when I least expect it. So there we go. So that's a wrap on those. This weekend, the big talk and the big news is about The Batman, the new movie with Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, Colin Farrell. Who else is in there as well? Can't remember. Andy Serkis, a few people as well. But it's been the talk of the weekend. The reviews have been extraordinarily good. A lot of people calling it maybe the best comic book movie of all time, the best Batman movie of all time. Very good. There are some people who say it's a very good film, but ultimately empty inside. But it looks like it's going to be generally a good film, good reviews like that. I don't think I'm going to see it until it's on Blu-ray. It's not one I'm dying to go out to movie theaters to see. Maybe we'll see how things go in a couple weeks. My kids and my wife are going to be going camping. Maybe that weekend I'll go and see it. That's not for about 2 or 3 weeks. So 2 weeks technically. So we'll see. Maybe I'll see it in about 2 weeks, but we will check that out. But yeah, so in its Thursday previews, it made $21.6 million, which is it's a very good preview night amount. Granted, Spider-Man was $50 million, but that's besides the point. That's Spider-Man. And that was a different sort of scenario. But $21.6 million in Thursday previews is actually outstanding. It looks like by the time all is said and done, we're looking at a $150 million opening, which is outstanding for COVID times and stuff like that, and making it even harder for the film assholes who are just like, comic books are destroying the film industry, blah, blah, blah. They should stop making them. Well, they're making money for the film industry, so they don't give a rat's ass about you and your goddamn art, particularly you. I love you, Scorsese, to death, but you make the same goddamn gangster films all the time, and you're screaming that the comic movies are not original, stuff like that. You've done other stuff, obviously, but come on, man, really. So good on that, but the reviews for it have been, fairly outstanding. Friends of mine who have seen it, they said they've really enjoyed it as well. I don't think I've seen anybody really say that they disliked it all that much. So, good on that. And they're already talking sequel. Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson have already been discussing about what they want to see in the sequel. Robert Pattinson seems to be all in on it. He seems to be enjoying the character, unlike when he did his Twilight stuff. So give him credit for that. So good on that as well. Now, that's also because of his popularity. It's spinning off TV shows for HBO Max. They're going to be doing a Penguin show with Colin Farrell, and we just announced this week that an Arkham Asylum series will also be made as a spinoff from the Batman, obviously, since it's doing gangbusters at the box office, getting good reviews. It's a no-brainer to make a sequel, or not sequel, to make a TV show spinoff of it. So good on that. I'm talking some Marvel. Elizabeth Olsen was announced this week that she'll be returning in the Agatha Harkness show, House of Harkness, TV show for Marvel for Disney Plus. In what capacity, we don't know. We'll find out when the time comes. What else? We know there's going to be a Werewolf by Night Halloween show coming out on HBO Max. I mean, on Disney Plus, I believe this year. Michael, it might not be this year because they just announced the director of it, but you'd think that they would. It's not a movie per se. It's more like an hour-long Halloween special. But Michael Giacchino, who is a composer, composed music for No Way Home and a bunch of other movies, has been set to direct the Werewolf by Night miniseries or the Halloween special. So good for Michael Giacchino. He's going to get his first directorial debut. I'm hoping that they get it done because this was announced like last year. I'm hoping that they get it done, and they've already done some casting on it, or maybe they already made it, but they didn't announce who the director was until now, and he's editing it now. So we'll see, and doing the composing for it probably. It's not unusual for composers to do that. There have been a couple other composers. I think John Ottman is another composer who is a director also. So we'll see what happens with that. I think it's due this year. It's supposed to be due this Halloween. So, and it is a short, so it's not like it's going to be a full movie. At the most, it might be an hour long. It'll be like one episode of one of their series, probably 45 minutes to an hour long. So it shouldn't be too long for them to film it and then edit it and then get it out in time for this Halloween. But they've also announced that they are going to be doing a Man-Thing Halloween special on Disney Plus. And I don't know if that's going to be this year either, or if it's going to be pushed to next year as a kind of a annual tradition. You'd figure it's early enough in the year as, again, if it's just going to be one of these little mini sort of 45-minute to an hour-long things, it should not take too long to make. Short films, you can do it real quickly. You just need to get director, casting, special effects like that. You film it and you get the special effects in there. Boom, you should be able to get it out in time for Halloween. So maybe they can do make their own little like Marvel Halloween special, a 2-hour window with Man-Thing and Werewolf by Night, and it's 2 separate movies or specials or whatever. So we'll see. But that has been announced that Man-Thing will be getting a Halloween special as well. Now moving to it's odd. It's like, here it is, not even spring yet. We're talking Halloween stuff. Well, I love Halloween. I love the fall better. And a holiday, which if you've watched this show multiple times, you know that I'm hugely high on, is Thanksgiving. Well, it surprised me when I looked at my Facebook after coming back from dinner tonight, that the first thing I saw was, and they literally called it a Reese's 3.4-pound Thanksgiving pie. They called it a Thanksgiving pie. They didn't call it just a pie. They called it a Thanksgiving pie, a 3.4-pound Reese's Thanksgiving pie that looks outstanding. So they're calling it a Thanksgiving pie, and I don't think the story was old. It didn't have, when you click on retweet or share or whatever it is now, if it's an old one, it'll come up. This article was written 2 years ago or 6 months ago or whatever, and we'll ask, do you still want to share it? In this case, it didn't do that. So we're already looking ahead to the fall, which is good, because let's fast forward through, well, spring's not too bad, but let's fast forward through summer at least. Not my birthday, not 4th of July, and not my son's birthday, but the rest of it's sort of just like, we'll see. We'll get it. It's just, I hate the hot weather. And I know it's probably going to get hot since, again, we haven't had a lot of snow this year, and it's, global warming and all this shit. So we'll see what happens. But the big news from Marvel, I guess that's what I was actually leading up to, but then I got sidetracked by why not Halloween and Thanksgiving. Last week I announced that as of March 1st, Netflix was going to be removing the Marvel shows they did: Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Defenders, and The Punisher. And they said that it has found a new home in Disney Plus, but only in Canada. They didn't know when the United States Disney Plus was going to get the Netflix shows, because in Canada, I think their rating systems are a bit more lax when it comes to, Disney has a perspective where they're a family-oriented company and they do family-oriented stuff. That's why most of their, Marvel movies are not, R-rated or whatever. They're PG-13 or PG. Don't have a lot of sex, violence, and language and stuff. There's some in it, obviously, but not a big deal about it because it's a family thing. So people weren't sure what was going to happen. Now, Canada has a little bit more lax thing like there, because there was a good example was Winona Earp. In one of the final episodes, one of the characters was actually allowed to say the F word on the air, and I think it was bleeped or just removed completely from the American version of it. So whatever. So people are saying, well, they have to figure out, Disney Plus has to figure out how they're going to manage this. We found out this week how they're going to manage it. These Netflix shows will be coming to Disney Plus United States on March 16th, which it's after midnight. It's 10 days from now. It's on a Wednesday because they do everything on Wednesdays now. So March 16th, day before St. Patrick's Day, all the Marvel Netflix series, complete runs, stuff like that, will be on Disney Plus. So how are they going to do this then? Well, that same day, they're going to have, when you go into Disney Plus, they're going to say, would you like to, change your parental control status for Disney Plus? And they probably will they're going to have a new section for the Netflix stuff, because they are not going to edit the Netflix stuff. And that was another thing people were afraid of, was they were going to edit out the sex and the violence and the language, or at least reduce it a little bit. No, they're going to bring them out. They're going to play them as they appeared on Netflix. But for parents who are afraid that their kids are going to want to watch it, they will be, when you go to Disney Plus, it'll come in and say, do you want to change your parental controls? And you can change your parental controls then for Disney Plus, because you might have said, well, Disney's not going to have any bad films, so it's okay to just let the kids watch whatever they want. Well, now they'll say, hey, do you want to change it so that they can't watch anything TV 14 and up? And so, parents will be able to make sure that their kids who are young won't be able to do that. So I'm not going to do it because my kids are old enough to watch it. My son, who is going to be turning 13 in August, honestly could care less about the show. So he's not even going to try to sneak and watch it. And my daughter's going to be 16 this year. So she's, fine enough to watch it as well. And she can handle it. So, but that's the good news for fans of the show who were afraid that they weren't going to be able to see it anymore on Netflix. You will be able to now see it on Disney Plus, and they'll have their own section and stuff like that. So also announced this week, same time as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which has all these sort of different contracts for their series as well, will eventually make all of its seasons available on Disney Plus as well. I think only a few of them will be available on this 3/16 drop, and the rest of them will come out for the majority of the rest of the year sporadically, as their contracts go up at other streaming services. Mark Ruffalo says he is passing the torch to Tatiana Maslany on the She-Hulk film, which is a kind of a backwards way of sort of saying, I might be done with the Hulk. And Tom Hiddleston also announced this week is that he's saying he's just a placekeeper for Loki right now, which also people are interpreting as that he is going to be leaving that character soon as well. So we'll see what happens if all that's going to happen, because there's the rumors that there's going to be a Hulk movie, and then Loki season 2 will still have Tom Hiddleston on. He's already signed on for the next season, but there might not be much more after that if that is indeed going to be the case. So we'll see what happens. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to go. Then a different superhero way, The Boys, the Amazon Prime TV show based on the grown-up Garth Ennis comic from DC. One of their main stars, Anthony Starr, I should say, has been arrested for drunken assault. So he's in a little bit of trouble right now. It's almost like he took his character from the show and acted it out in real life, and he's going to be in a little bit of trouble now. So we will see how that comes. Speaking of Disney Plus, going back to that real quick, Disney announced this week that they will be starting a new version of Disney Plus that'll be cheaper, but it'll have commercials attached to it. So if you want to keep no commercials in your shows and movies, stuff like that, keep the Disney Plus you have now. But if you'd rather get a cheaper version of Disney Plus, you're going to have to sit through the commercials because they got to make their money somehow. So they have that option, though, for people who might not be able to afford regular Disney Plus, but might be able to afford the ads-supported Disney Plus. I mean, most streaming services have something similar to that anyway. So it just makes sense that they eventually would do that as well. My son, I'll get into this a little bit more, was sick on Friday. He got a stomach virus, so I stayed home with him. And we watched Free Guy. That was on Disney Plus also. To me, it was a great movie. I enjoyed it a lot, but it was almost like a live action version of the Lego movie, but with video games. Ryan Reynolds was fantastic, and Taika Waititi was great, and all the cast and crew was great, and it's an outstanding movie. It's a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it immensely. And that's my review of it. So I'm going to watch it. I'm not going to really get into much detail because I don't really do that too much. Now, if I had a show where I could have a guest on, which I can't do anymore, unless I make a podcast, then maybe we get into more detail about it. But right now, just highly recommended. It's a lot of fun. There's a couple of bad words in it, but for the most part, there's really nothing too awful about it. Some great cameos, particularly for if you have video game fans. A lot of really good cameos and callbacks and stuff like that. So, love them. But I bring this up because they just announced that Free Guy 2, the script for Free Guy 2 is just about done. Ryan Reynolds announced it this week. So there will be a Free Guy 2 coming out soon. I don't know exactly what they're going to do with it because it kind of ended on a pretty obvious note. So I don't know what's going to happen. So we will see what happens. I Am Legend, the movie with Will Smith, finally had a sequel announced this week as well. Will Smith will be returning somehow, and he'll be joined by Michael B. Jordan as well. So that's going to be rolling out of here really soon too. Trailer I saw this week for a movie that's going to be on Netflix called The Bubble. It's going to come out on April 1st. An all-star cast in it. I think David Duchovny's in it, and Julianne Moore, and I think a few others as well. And Karen Gillan and a few others as well. But basically, it's a movie that takes place during COVID-19 pandemic restrictions in 2020, where people, were told to, live in the bubble and stay, not be around other people and stuff like that. And a film company is making a film, been given the okay to make this film during the pandemic, and it has to be successful or the movie studio is going to shut down. And it's a sequel to an action film. So we're going to see the behind the scenes stuff about all these actors who are in this movie and how they deal with the COVID stuff and working in a bubble like that. It actually looks really interesting and really funny, kind of sort of like a film version of Noises Off a little bit, and could be a big hit for Netflix. Comes out on April Fool's Day, April 1st. So I might check that out sometime in April. well worth probably take a look at that as well. Now on a reboot scale, I did not even know this was going to be a thing, but apparently it is. They're making a remake of White Men Can't Jump, Ron Shelton's film about a white grifter who's a great basketball player, but teams up with a skilled black basketball player to fleece morons of their money. And of course, the two of them, double cross each other. Star Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson, who always had great chemistry, and they had a great script and direction by Ron Shelton, who directed Bull Durham and Tin Cup. I thought Rosie Perez's character was a little bit more annoying, but her character is kind of annoying in all the movies she's in. So I found her kind of annoying in this one as well. But and the film itself is not one of my favorites, but they are making a remake of it, and they found their Woody Harrelson character in Jack Harlow, who I guess is a musician. And the reason why he got the role was because during his audition, he was able to kill a number of slam dunks pretty effectively and realistically. So good on him. And I'm probably not going to see it, but hey, you know what? I know one was asking for it, but remakes. Now here's one that always seems to pop up all the time. It's one that's never going to die, and I've had this discussion a couple years ago, when it looked like things were getting booted back up for this, and then all of a sudden the actor and director just said, we're out, for no reason. They were really excited about it, and then just literally like the next day they're like, nah, we're out of here. So either something happened or whatever, they decided not to do it. It was Jason Momoa was involved with it, and I think I would have loved to see him take on this role. Yes, the Crow reboot is back on the table again. It has been resurfaced again. Talk of them, news and information about the Crow reboot, which I'm assuming means that they found a new director for it, possibly even a new star for it. And it's like, just so much is going on with you trying to bring this reboot, and everything, all these weird things start happening, which is allowing it not to happen. I think this is just another, you're not going to be able to make a reboot of it because of what happened. And the sequel was just trash. So that sort of, kind of helped along the way that, it wasn't something you should probably get involved with, even though it is such a great concept. And I thought Jason Momoa and the director that he had was going to actually, I think they would have knocked it out of the park. And I really wish they'd be involved with it again. So I think it'd be fantastic, but they are not involved with it. But there is new news about it. So we'll see what happens. Taika Waititi is getting himself busy. He's got a whole bunch of stuff on his slate. But one of the things he was going to do an animated version of Flash Gordon. Well, that is no longer going to happen. He is now going to do a live action version of Flash Gordon, which I think a Taika Waititi version of Flash Gordon live action could be pretty cool. And why not? You direct it, you bring in Ryan Reynolds for that. I think he'd be a good Flash Gordon. We'll see. So we will see what happens with that. In college hoops news, I hate Duke. I'm a University of Maryland fan, and when they were in the ACC, I hated Duke, and I hated Duke even after Maryland left the ACC. I hate everything about Duke. It's one of those things where I hate everything about the Cowboys. I hate everything about Steelers. I hate everything about the Patriots. I hate everything about Tom Brady, stuff like that. But besides the point, Coach K, who's been their coach for 30 plus years, maybe even 40. I don't know. He's been there as long as I can remember. He's been at Duke, and he's been very successful. I mean, apparently at this present time right now, Duke is number 4 in the top 25 of college basketball. Well, tonight was their last home game at the Duke Stadium, And it's also Coach K's last game as Duke's coach. He is retiring as Duke's coach. They'll probably get a bid to the NCAA tournament, so he'll still coach through there. But they're not going to be doing any games at Duke's home stadium anymore, or arena, because that's not part of the NCAA tournament. This was the last home game. If they have one more game, it's going to be an away game. And the tournament for the ACC is going to be at other locations than not Duke. So this was Coach K's last home game. And Duke was playing their biggest rival, University of North Carolina. University of North Carolina is presently unranked, which is also unusual for North Carolina. They're usually one of the ranked teams as well, but they're unranked this year. Duke is number 4, as I said. And it was Coach K's last home game. It was senior night for the seniors. And it's Schadenfreude, where I said I'm very happy that UNC ended up trashing number 4 Duke. It was like 94-81, something like that. So it was a blowout for the most part. On Coach K's last home game in Duke, he lost to their rival. So kind of a fitting end, because I hate Duke. So I had to mention that, even though I'm kind of an asshole. The Craven movie has announced a whole bunch of stuff today. Now, we know that Russell Crowe's in it. We know that Aaron Taylor Johnson is going to be playing Craven. Those were the roles that we knew right away. We're pretty sure, Aaron Taylor Johnson's playing Craven. We know that. And we're pretty sure that Russell Crowe will be playing Craven's father. We're pretty sure that they haven't really said much about who is in the cast. Now, this week they announced Fred Heckner as Chameleon. So we know he's going to be playing Chameleon, and we know Chameleon's going to be in the movie. They announced that Ariana DeBose will be playing a character they believe will be Calypso, who's a character that we know from the Craven the Hunter lore. So we're pretty sure about that. And then the big one is Alessandro Nivola, who played Nicolas Cage's brother on Face Off, has been cast as the villain in the Craven movie, even though Craven is kind of a villain himself. We don't know his character. We don't know which villain he's going to be playing, but he's been cast as the villain. So a lot of casting for this Craven movie. There's going to be a ton of talk about it soon. Speaking of the Sony universe, I'm going to jump around because this is later on. I'll do it right now. The new Morbius trailer came out. The more I see of it, the more interesting it looks. I hated Jared Leto's version of the Joker. I thought it was a disaster, but I am kind of on board with this Morbius stuff because I've seen 2 trailers now. This is actually 3 trailers. It's like the 3rd trailer I've seen of it. It looks really, really good, really, really interesting. Looks like they've got it down pat pretty good. And they're throwing in Michael Keaton's Vulture. And he is a little bit more front and center in this trailer. And it looks pretty good. That's coming out April. It might be April 1st also. Is that a Friday? Couldn't tell you. Yep, April 1st is a Friday. So I believe Morbius will be out April 1st also, along with this movie, The Bubble. So that one doesn't look too bad and looks entertaining. So Sony's getting themselves, pretty squared up, pretty good there. So good on them. Mountain Dew. Last year, I had 3 different Mountain Dews, or was it this year? No, it was last year. Yes, because Spark came out late last year. I had 3 different Mountain Dews last year of the new kind: the watermelon one, the raspberry lemonade one, and the kiwi one that's only at Food Line. I forget which one that one was. And so we get word that the first new Mountain Dew of this year is called Mountain Dew Legend, and is another only available at a certain place. In this case, you can only get Mountain Dew Legend at Buffalo Wild Wings. Now, the good news is there's Buffalo Wild Wings right down the road from here, but B, I really have no desire to go to Buffalo Wild Wings, but they do have Mountain Dew Legend. It is supposed to be a combination of blackberry, citrus, and ginger flavor. That's kind of an intriguing sort of mixture of things. Could be good. Still waiting on Riddler's Brew. I don't think it's going to come out because the Batman movie's out now, and there have been no news about Riddler's Brew. Maybe this is Riddler's Brew, and they just said, well, we decided we're only going to do it as a exclusive to Buffalo Wild Wings, so let's just change the name from Riddler's Brew to Legend and say, well, we were wrong, we're not going to release a Riddler's Brew. I hope they do, but I have not heard anything since the original announcements that there's going to be a Riddler's Brew coming out. So again, they appear to be the same color. Riddler's Brew and Legend appear to be the same color. This sort of a deep purple, navyish color. So potentially could be it. Before we have Easter, we have St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day is coming out on the 17th, which is 11 days from now. So St. Patrick's Day is going to be in 11 days. And the Dairy Queen is joining the Shamrock Shake, and Dunkin's got a Shamrock sort of thing as well. Well, DQ is doing a mint brownie blizzard in time for St. Patrick's Day. So you get your green minty ice cream, mint chocolate chip ice cream with brownie blizzard, stuff like that. So you're going to have your St. Patrick's Day stuff. Coldstone Creamery is doing a Lucky Charms one, which I think I want to go to the mall. And I know it has a Coldstone Creamery. I want to try that. So we'll see what happens with that. And also, for St. Patrick's Day, there's going to be a Lucky Charms cupcake mix is out now, also in time for St. Patrick's Day, which will have, it's a cupcake with marshmallows from Lucky Charms on top of it. So that's always good. Now, skipping to Easter, Peeps cereal is back. It's not marshmallow flavored Peeps, but it's going to be like, there's some marshmallows, I think, in it, but it's not going to taste like Peeps. It's just Peeps cereal. So here's the first of our Peeps stories. I won't do the other ones till we get to them on the next few pages. Actually, here we go. We have Peeps also launches customizable Peeps, so you can make your own flavor, color ones, because they've released all kinds of different flavors out there now. Like, you go to the grocery store now and you see all the Peeps at the grocery store. There's like 20 different kinds, and no more, like, it's like yellow, pinks, purple, blue, brown, and some of them are different colored, different flavors and stuff like that. So kind of intriguing. But now, last week I mentioned that there was going to be a Rice Krispies chocolate bunny, which is a hollow chocolate bunny filled with Rice Krispies. So when you bite into it, you get the crunchiness of the Rice Krispies and the chocolate bunny. Now, this one I might have to find for my wife because she likes this cereal, but Apple Jacks also has a Apple Jacks filled bunny for Easter. It is a white chocolate, though, which makes more sense if you're going to do sort of a cereal flavored chocolate bunny, because your white chocolate's got more of a creamy, milky sort of flavor, and you add it to the Apple Jacks that are inside of that. So I need to find that. I think my wife would enjoy that. So I better check that out as well. Jump ahead to, before we get that, Thanksgiving, you usually get the butter that's shaped like a turkey. Christmas time, you get, butter shaped like Santa Claus, which you put on the table for your Christmas dinners or your Thanksgiving dinners. Well, for your Easter dinner now, you can get a butter bunny on the dinner table there. They have bunnies that are butter shaped like bunnies. You can now get to put it on the table for your Easter dinner. Again, Easter's coming up in about a month and 11 days. It's like April 17th. That's really, actually, I can probably give you the exact date of Easter. April 17th is when Easter is this year. So a long ways to go. That's why Lent was March 1st this week. So we got the butter buddy coming up here soon. Nesquik has, last week they announced a salted caramel flavor. They now have a hot fudge sundae flavor as well. So Nesquik is getting into the flavored taste sort of thing now too. WWE ice cream bars, which haven't been around for 10 years, are finally coming back into stores probably this summer. So you'll be able to get your WWE former ice cream bars that you used to, if you were a huge fan of that, will now be available as well. For the most flirty sort of and different type of comment this week. Cream-filled beavers. Oh, man, I miss cream-filled beavers. Anyway, our thing now, it's a chocolate that looks like a beaver that's filled with marshmallow cream or regular cream or whatever. So again, I probably should have named the episode I just need to read this real quick. Okay. All right. So here is now cream-filled beavers out. Chocolate beavers that look like beavers that have cream in them. I just think I'm gonna keep saying cream-filled beavers because I think it's funny, and I wish I did name the episode that, but I feel that if someone typed that, it would show up on porn searches, stuff like that. They'd be like, "What the hell is this bullshit?" But yeah, cream-filled beavers are a thing now, so be on the lookout for cream-filled beavers. I'm gonna see how many times I can put in cream-filled beavers now into the show. Raymond Lee has been tapped as the lead in the Quantum Leap reboot. I'll be playing a new character who's takes place, I guess, in the future, and they have to prove that Sam Beckett's experiments actually worked. I don't exactly know. We don't know what the reboot's going to be about because they haven't told us anything yet, but he has been cast, so we have the lead now in the new Quantum Leap show. There's going to be a new Alien movie out as well, directed by Fede Alvarez for Hulu. I think he's a guy who directed like the Evil Dead remake or something like that. So kind of like a horror-esque sort of director is going to be making an Alien movie for Hulu, I guess, to set up for the FX sort of Alien TV show that's going to be coming out because that'll probably be available on Hulu as well down the line. Speaking of false aliens into real sort of invasive aliens, we have huge invasive parachuting spiders may begin to terrorize the East Coast this summer. That's sort of like the murder wasp or whatever that was called that really never came to fruition but in 2020. But now we have invasive parachuting spiders should be making their way onto the eastern shore now, or East Coast, I should say, of the United States this year. So if you live on the East Coast like I do, we'll keep an eye out for these parachuting spiders for you. Yep. There have been a couple of new comic book groups coming out. Kevin Smith is launching a new production company for comics that'll be distributed by Dark Horse Comics. He's going to be writing new characters, and he's going to get some of his friends to come on. So there's going to be a bunch of stuff coming from the Kevin Smith part of Dark Horse eventually, and a bunch of artists who've done work for both DC and Marvel are joined together, much like Image did back in 1991, to create Art Elite Comics, which are due to come out in June, with big-name artists like Brett Booth, Ale Garza, Tyler Kirkham, Ben Templesmith, Ryan Benjamin, Franklin Williams II, Ebass, Eric Basalda, and John Boy Myers, just to name a few. Those are all artists who've done Spider-Man and Superman and Batmans and other types of stuff as well. So it's good to see them, sort of, I guess, getting out into their own and doing their own thing. So we'll see if their stuff is as good as Image's stuff and see if they're going to survive in this new-esque world. So we'll see what happens. And Jim Valentino, who is one of the artists who went and helped form Image. His character Shadowhawk has been seen periodically through the 90s and then sort of disappeared a little bit in the 2000s and then came back a little bit in the mid 2000s and then disappeared again. Well, he's got a new series coming out from Image this year. So it'd be good to see him back on top of things as well. So we got that going on. So those are the new comic book imprints that are coming our way very soon. Deaths this year, or this week. On a personal note, a guy who was married to one of my coworkers who passed away from cancer a few years ago, did some electrical work for us at our company, was a musician, and as I said, electrical guy, and he also was a cat lover. He created a Facebook page devoted to cats. Gary Latham passed away today, actually. So I knew him a little bit, and I knew his family a little bit, and it's a shame he passed away. He was a little suicidal and had some issues. I don't think he committed suicide, though. I think he just died of whatever. So hope you're doing okay wherever you are, Gary. Johnny Brown, Good Times actor, died at the age of 84. Alan Ladd Jr., super producer of Star Wars, Braveheart, and so on and so forth. He died this week as well. Katie Meyer, captain of the Stanford women's soccer team, died at the age of 22. Don't know what she died of, but she did die this week as well. Farrah Fork, actress, died at the age of 54. She had appearances in Wings and Lois and Clark. I think I kind of remember her a little bit. Kirk Barley, Salute Your Shorts counselor Ugg, died at the age of 59. Salute Your Shorts was a show that was in Nickelodeon in the late 80s, early 90s. He was the most popular character on that show, I believe. Ned Eisenberg, who was in TV shows like The Burning, Law and Order, Mayor of Easttown, so on and so forth, died at the age of 65 this week. And is there any more death? I don't think so. There's Indiana Jones. I did that already. I don't think there's anybody else who passed away. I still can't read that one. Hey, Peeps gummies are also a thing coming out soon. Everything's getting gummified here. Now we're going to have some Peeps gummies as well. So interesting, I guess. Baby Yoda is making kind of a mini comeback after his appearance on the Book of Boba Fett. He's got a waffle maker that will imprint Baby Yoda's face on every waffle that you want to eat. There's also a Baby Yoda nightlight. Then you turn it on, it'll be Baby Yoda's head, and he can, light your way to sleeping. And also in time for Easter, let's see if I can find this. There's a chocolate egg that has a surprise Baby Yoda marshmallow inside of it. So you can find that as well. I mean, find that one for my daughter, see if she'd like that too. So yeah, that's pretty interesting as well. To the NFL is canceling all their COVID-19 tests. I think that's a bad idea, but not much I can do. I'm not in charge of that, which means that, the other sports are going to follow probably eventually. Not that there's going to be much about the Major League Baseball because they are in a lockout right now. They've been in a lockout since December 1st. They tried to come to the table to try to come to terms with some stuff, and they had a deadline, I think, of March 1st by 5 p.m. to get a deal done. If they didn't, they were going to start canceling games. Well, March 1st, 5 o'clock came and went. There's no deal. They're still trying to work out deals. So baseball, which should be in the middle of spring training right now, has not even started. All the facilities are locked out, so the players can't get to them and do any workouting and stuff like that. But yes, the commissioner, Rob Manfred, who is basically the bad guy in all this, has already canceled the first 2 series of every baseball team. So they're already getting rid of games. There was a conspiracy theory dropped in there that they believe that eventually things will come to a head and the lockout will be over on June 14th. So we'll see if this turns out to be correct. So honestly, I haven't been a big baseball fan for a long time. The Orioles have in a constant rebuild, and they're saying, oh, it's going to take 3 or 4 years to rebuild. They're going on like year 5 now. And I keep hearing how great our farm system is and how great our prospects are. We have one of the best farm systems, but there's no guarantee that these great players are going to be able to acclimate to the Major League Baseball. And if they come up to MLB and stink, you put your whole everything on these rookies and stuff like that, and your prospects, and they turn out to be busts, you are in a lot of trouble. So, and unfortunately, I have a bad feeling that's what's going to happen to the Orioles, particularly with the COVID stuff in 2020, where they had only a 60-game season, sort of this lockout now. So we'll see. There was a new trailer called Bullet Train, which is a Brad Pitt movie, which looks like it's his version of John Wick. So let's see what happens about that. Pentagon warns that Nintendo generation can't survive boot camp because their bones are weak because of sitting and playing video games. That just sounds like grumpy old soldiery who complaining that the next generation has no guts and don't know anything and so on and so forth. They're just dumb. It just seems stupid, and I'm going to move on from that right now. This week was my wife's birthday. Noah was sick. He had a stomach virus. I stayed home with him on Friday because, he can't stay by himself yet. Plus, he was throwing up. He threw up 3 times. And he seems to be doing much better now. He's feeling way much better, and he's been able to eat a lot more things. We went to a Mexican restaurant today for my wife's birthday dinner because she had scouts on her actual birthday, so she couldn't really have a celebration then. Got her a pair of presents, so she seemed to like them. So that's good. That's what happened this week for me, big time. Arizona Iced Tea has a fruit snack now, which just seems weird. A fruit snack flavored like iced tea. Seems rather odd. A couple weeks ago, I announced that Jason Momoa had broken up with his longtime wife, Lisa Bonet, and it seemed rather odd because they seemed like they were a good power couple. They seemed to really work things out, but apparently something came up, and they broke it off. Well, surprise, people who love romance, they have gotten back together and decided to give it another go-round. So we will see what happens with that. And it's a big deal because Zoe Kravitz, who is his stepdaughter, is one of the stars of the new Batman movie. So he was able to be on the red carpet with her this week and celebrate with her, which is great. The Ukrainian stuff is still going on. Russia is still attacking Ukraine illegally. The Republicans here in America are still backing the illegal Russians. Never forget that they are anti-American, anti-democratic, anti-Ukrainian, even though despite the fact that probably 90% of the people here in the United States back Ukraine over Russia, and they believe Russia is wrong. But there are a number of Republicans who are like, nah, they're doing the right thing. This is what it should be about. So always remember that. But Sean Penn, I told you last week, he was filming a documentary about the Russian invasion, stuff like that. Well, he has escaped Ukraine on foot. The advancing soldiery was a little bit too much for him, so he had to get out. And he is now in Poland, so he's on his way back to America. Last week, they also announced that Futurama was going to come back, but a lot of fans of the show were upset that John DiMaggio, who voices Bender, was not going to be coming back. He was holding out for more money or whatever. All the other cast members are coming back like that. Well, good news, fans of Futurama, John DiMaggio, excuse me, has come up with a deal with his Futurama producers, and he will be returning now as Bender. So you've got the entire cast back as well. March 1st was not only the first day of Lent, it was also the 150th anniversary of the creation of Yellowstone National Park. I was unaware of that until my friend Gary told me about it. And so Yellowstone National Park, I've been there before. It is absolutely an amazing national park. It was the first national park. It was commissioned by President Grant. Teddy Roosevelt was the one that really pushed the national and helped create the National Park Service. But he was the one. No, he was not the one who created Yellowstone Park or turned Yellowstone Park into Yellowstone Park. That was President Grant, so that's good. But 150 years of Yellowstone National Park is outstanding. It is a wonderful place. It's got everything you want and see in it. It's got mountains. It's got lakes. It's got lots of trees. It's got lots of wildlife. It's got buffalo and bears and moose and bald eagles. And it's got waterfalls. And it's got cabins. It's got a fancy hotel. It's got paved roads. It's got all kinds of really cool stuff, and well worth a trip to check it out. I want to go back and take my family, but it's also very expensive. I mean, it's free to get into the park, but you have to pay for your hotel, your airfare, all that stuff. So, yeah. But 150th 50th anniversary of Yellowstone was March 1st. Also this week was the 60th anniversary of Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point basketball game that has not been replicated. The next highest amount by one player, I think Kobe did 81 in a game. That's the highest, second highest right now, but no one has been able to replicate Wilt Chamberlain's 100 points in one game. It's a game that not a lot of people know about, because there was no coverage whatsoever really of it, no radio or television that can be accessed. There is some radio recordings from later in the game, but not the whole game itself. But there are really no pictures or whatever. It was played not in a usual spot. It was played in Hershey, Pennsylvania, actually, at the Hershey Stadium up there. And it was just a kind of weird thing that happened, but 60th anniversary of his 100th 100 points. There's a bunch of books out about Wilt, and I think there's a book about the 100-point game. So I'm not a big basketball fan, so I'm not really going to search it out. But if you are, it is kind of, as I said, it's something that has never been reached before. Closest, I said, was Kobe at 81 points, but that's about it. Netflix has a popular show in the name of called Lupin the Third. I think it's based on a anime about a thief in France, and they're on a third season now, I think, of it. And while they were filming in France, masked thieves stole $300,000 worth of equipment from the set. So that's kind of interesting to happen on a set about a thief that they were themselves robbed of $300,000 worth of equipment. So crazy. There is a social media. One of the things about social media is it's been able to create social media celebrities and stuff like that. The AB family and Holderness family and Cole Marmalade and stuff like that. Now the Holderness family, the dad and the mom were picked to be in the new version of Amazing Race. And so they've been talking about that and stuff like that. And they revealed this week, after the reveal of the season finale, The Amazing Race, that they won The Amazing Race. So it's kind of interesting that a social media family that, if you follow them, you've known them and heard about them, actually won this Amazing Race thing. So it's kind of cool about that. So congratulations to them. Outstanding job. Anaheim recorded the hottest temperature in the United States on Monday this week. I guess it was 100 plus degrees in February, which is weird, even if it is in California, but still more signs that climate change is real and things are fucked up. China has a rover over on the far side of the moon. They discovered a pair of glassy orbs on the moon that they can't understand right now. We saw pictures of them. It's very clearly glassy sort of orbs. So we don't know what that's about and what's going on with that. So that's kind of a interesting little story that hopefully will not be overlooked here eventually. Also, I don't know if it's on this page or not. I'll find it again. But on Mars, Martian rover discovered a rock formation that looks like a plant. They've never seen that before either. So they're discovering all kinds of really cool stuff here. I did these. I checked them off. Okay. A lot of cool things there. So that was on Mars. The Mars rover discovered that as well. There is Curiosity rover discovered plants. It looks like a flower. Yeah. Continue with the Ukraine stuff because of the sanctions and people, taking all kinds of stuff away from Russia to punish it for its aggression to another country. The Russian ruble, which is their money, has dropped precipitously. So it's almost worthless currency. This is how worthless it is. Fortnite V-Bucks, which are online money that we use to buy skins and pickaxes and back bling and emotes and lobby music and stuff like that. You buy gift cards, or you can buy it online to get these V-Bucks to put into your system. Buying a Fortnite V-Buck card is now more expensive than the Russian ruble. So the Fortnite V-Buck cards are better to have than the Russian ruble, which is their currency of choice at this time presently. So kind of interesting about that end. A new arcade bar is coming to downtown Annapolis here in Maryland. So basically it's going to be a bar that has old school arcade games in it because, hey, why not? The Gen Xers and stuff like that who, grew up with arcade games, stuff like that, are now beer drinking and go to bars and stuff. Why don't we make a bar that has video games as well as a bar in it? So that's going to be opening in Annapolis very soon. So that's pretty cool. Some entertainment news. Jerry Seinfeld, who has for a number of times in his stand-up talked about a idea for a Pop-Tarts movie and talk about the creation of Pop-Tarts, stuff like that. Well, he's finally gotten the okay to make his Pop-Tarts movie. I don't know much about it. I read a little bit out of the article, and I just couldn't understand what he was talking about. But there is going to be a Pop-Tarts movie. Jerry Seinfeld is writing and directing the movie. So that's going to be a big deal. So you're going to hear more and more about that because it's Jerry Seinfeld. So good on them, I guess. Pillsbury has birthday. I'm sorry, that's not entertainment. We'll talk about that in a second. Fred Savage and Howie Mandel made a little movie back in the 80s called Little Monsters. Well, they want to make a sequel. Why not? Everybody else is doing it. So why not? You get Fred Savage to direct it. Why not? He's a pretty good director right now. So get him to direct it. Cal Penn has been cast in the new Santa Claus show on Disney Plus. Supposedly people are saying he's going to be the one who's going to replace Tim Allen's Santa Claus and not Tim Allen's son, who was originally supposed to do it, I guess. So we'll see what happens. Now, you've heard everything, but again, when you know a horror franchise is going into the toilet, what you do, you send it into space. Got Jason in space, Jason X in space. There was talk they want to send Michael Myers into space. I think there's a Leprechaun in space, maybe. I don't know, maybe, possibly. Now get ready for Amityville in space. Yes, the Amityville Horror, a haunted house that needs to stay on Earth, is now going to be a new horror movie called Amityville in Space, where the house, I guess, has launched from the Earth and has gone into orbit, and all kinds of creepy stuff is going to happen as astronauts go in. I don't know. There's a trailer out, so it's not a joke. It's not April Fool's Day. So, yeah, Amityville in Space is a new movie coming out. Going from entertainment to food, the Pillsbury has birthday cake and brownie brownie something snack bars. So they're bars that taste like Pillsbury birthday cake and brownie sundae flavored stuff. So that's pretty cool. S'mores Bomb Pops are going to be your new ice cream popsicle choice this summer. It's going to have a marshmallow swirl center. Oreo, Nutter Butter, and Chips Ahoy now have a new brand where they are part of a mix of popcorn and cookies and a new like pop secret sort of thing. So you can get both your cookies and your popcorn together in one big snack bag. Powerade freezer bars. I think I mentioned this last week, but when I was doing my research, I don't remember or not. I think I did do it. Are doing freezer pops in Mountain Berry Blast and fruit punch flavored. So good on that. Oh, that's right. Hand to Hand Wombat. That's the one I couldn't really see. Is in the Kickstarter right now. The creators of Exploding Kittens and Throw Through a Burrito have now created Hand to Hand Wombat, which, from what I read, the description is you divide into teams, and one team are wombats who are building, and one team is wombats who are destroying, but you can't see who's who. So because you'll be blindfolded. So it looks interesting, and it's in Kickstarter right now. They tend to do very well when it comes to Kickstarter. So you'll probably be seeing that very quickly here soon. It was Pokemon week this week, so a lot of Pokemon information. The biggest one is that a brand new Pokemon game will be coming out with a new generation of Pokemon. I know we just had one a couple of years ago, but we have a new one, Gen 9 or Gen 10 or whatever, is going to be coming out here soon. It's going to be Violet and Scarlet. So Pokemon Violet and Pokemon Scarlet will come out later this year with brand new generations of Pokemon. And hopefully this one will have some Eevees in it, because we haven't had any Eevees in a really long time, since at least season 6. Generation 6, so it's been about 3 or 4 seasons now before we've had anything like that. Speaking of that, season 7 or Gen 7 Pokemon, the Alolan Pokemon, a few of them have made their way to the Pokemon Go game. Well, this next 3 months is going to be the Alolan Pokemon full-on attack in Pokemon Go. They're going to release most of the Alolan Pokemon over the next 3 weeks, the next 3 months, I should say. I don't think they're going to be doing Mimikyu until the fall, because he's a Halloween ghost type sort of thing. So, but he's going to be in the game, so I'm excited for that. But yeah, so we've had the new Alolan Pokemon have made their way out right now. The starters are out, and a couple other ones are with them, and they're going to be releasing new ones probably every few weeks, every few months here until they get them all out. So that's coming up. And finally, Pokemon Legends Arceus. Excuse me, my stomach is a little off. Will be getting its own anime, so that's kind of cool. That's going to happen. So that's all the big Pokemon news. So that's cool. Fortnite. Fortnite has had a successful comic book crossover with DC, and then they had a one-shot that crossover with DC again. All of these, there's like 7 issues in total. All had new. If you bought the comic, you would get a special code to get free cosmetics, including free skins, free back bling, stuff like that. Well, has been really successful. So since Fortnite has worked with both DC and Marvel, Fortnite is going to be releasing a Marvel miniseries with new skins and new back bling, stuff like that you can only get if you buy the you can get it for free if you buy the comic. You have to pay for it in the item shop when it comes out that same day. With the V-Bucks that are more than the Russian ruble right now. So it's called Zero War, and it's got some new skins, and it looks like it's our first view at some of the new skins for the new season of Fortnite, because that is coming out March 20th, and it's usually about 3 months from March, April, May, June. The new season is going to overlap with the comics, so they want to keep it sort of up to date. And Donald Mustard, who is the creator of Fortnite, is involved in the making of these comics, so he knows what's going on. So good on that. Speaking of graphic novels and comics, Jamie Lee Curtis has written a graphic novel called Mother Nature, which I think she wants to turn to a movie eventually. It's kind of a horror sort of graphic novel, but she has written one, and it'll be out probably in June, along with this Fortnite miniseries and a bunch of other stuff as well. So that's pretty cool. Iron Cat series will also be coming out probably in June, with Felicia Hardy, the Black Cat, getting her own Iron Man armor. So we got that coming up. And Chip Zdarsky, who's come a long way from Sex Criminals, is now the new writer of the Batman series, along with artist Jorge Jimenez, who's been drawing it for the last few months. So that's pretty cool. Studio Ghibli is going to be creating their own amusement park. I think I mentioned that before. Well, they announced this week that their ticket prices will be less than Disneyland and Universal tickets. And Studio Ghibli, their amusement park is not going to be some small dinky one. It's going to be an all-out sort of Disney-esque style one. That's going to be cheaper to go to it than Disney. So good on that. Beetlejuice 2, which has been talked about for a long, long time, but nothing's ever come of it. Well, it's in the news again this week because Brad Pitt's Plan B production company has bought the rights to Beetlejuice and wants to make a sequel to it finally, with returning cast Michael Keaton and Winona Ryder. We'll see if that actually comes to fruition and see how they're going to do that. But talks have been heating up now for Beetlejuice 2. It's been rumored for a while now, but now it looks like it's officially going to happen. Andrew Garfield claims that he is no longer going to do any more Spider-Man movies, but he's successfully been able to lie to everybody for months about his role in No Way Home. So we'll see if that actually happens or not. Anthony Mackie, who plays Sam Wilson, the new Captain America, before he goes back and does his Captain America movie, he's going to star and executive produce in a live-action adaptation of the video game Twisted Metal. So we'll be seeing that. I think it's like for Hulu or Amazon or something like that. So that's going to be coming up really soon. Euphoria, the sexy, dramatic, drug-infused, teen, angsty sort of high school TV show that stars Zendaya, has been a huge hit for HBO Max. Well, the season finale was this week, and the season finale caused HBO Max to crash due to the amount of people watching the season finale. Speaking of Zendaya's better half, I don't realize Zendaya's the better half, but her other half, I should say, Tom Holland, is the box office dominator. He has been in the top film in the United States every week, except maybe once, from December 19th to today. He's not going to be in it with Batman's going to be taking number one spot for next week, but this week, Uncharted, which was the other movie that Tom Holland did along with Spider-Man No Way Home, has been holding steady at number one also. So Spider-Man No Way Home was number one for the longest time. I think there was a hiccup where another movie came in, like Scream replaced it for like 1 week, and then left, and then Spider-Man got back on top again. And then Uncharted came out, and it's been on top for a while there. So Tom Holland, who stars in both of those, is now the biggest box office draw right now, having been basically in the top film from December 19th to today, with one exception, 1 week in there when Scream came out. So that's kind of interesting. Chernobyl radiation levels have increased 20-fold after fighting occurred between the Russians and Ukrainians there, and that's not a good sign at all. Hopefully that won't cause any issues. So all I got left is crazy animal stuff and the SAG Awards, so we'll do SAG Awards last. So I've been talking about how it seems like over the last year or so, there have been numerous sightings of rare all-white animals, all different types, stuff like that. And it led me to talk some about this last week, is that it seems like a really kind of a weird evolutionary thing that all these rare white creatures are starting to pop up. And I postulate that maybe that means it's a sign that something's coming, that they might need to have that for camouflage, meaning like despite the fact that climate change is happening, it could be a new ice age due to whatever reason. So we'll see what happens. But there's some more this week. The ultra rare white baby reindeer was discovered in Norway. So that's an interesting thing as well. The first ever white cougar was discovered in Brazil. So that's a white cougar and a white reindeer. There was a white albino orangutan that has been discovered, and a band of people who discovered it have moved her to her own island now, so she will be safe. So those are the three white ones that are kind of crazy. A rare Irawali dolphin was discovered in Indonesian waters. One you don't see very often in Indonesian waters was discovered in Indonesian waters. So that's an interesting thing. And a Minnesota black wolf, who is very rare to be seen in the wild, was photographed in the wild this week as well. That's not really so much as sort of a crazy thing, but the fact is that a rare animal is now been photographed and shown that, yeah, they're out there. They're just, on their own right now. Finally, the SAG Awards were this week, and they no, I don't want to do that. And they are kicking off awards season. As I said, the Academy Awards comes out March 27th. Again, not too excited about it because they still have not brought back the ones that they're going to say they're in there, but I will be doing my show regardless at the end of the month. All right, so here are the SAG Awards 2022 winners. Outstanding performance by a cast in a motion picture was Coda. Outstanding performance by a male actor in a leading role was Will Smith in King Richard, which is interesting. So he won the SAG Award, and Andrew Garfield won the Golden Globe. And Benedict Cumberbatch won the Golden Globe also. So that could be an interesting three-way race. Outstanding performance by a female actor in a lead role, Jessica Chastain for The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Outstanding performance by a male actor in a supporting role, Troy Kotsur for Coda. Outstanding performance by a female actor in a supporting role, Ariana DeBose for West Side Story. She's, as I mentioned, is the one who's been cast now on the Craven the Hunter show, so that's pretty cool. Outstanding performance by an ensemble in a drama series was for Succession, because they also do TV as well. Outstanding performance by a male actor in a drama series, Lee Jung-jae for Squid Game. Outstanding performance by a female actor in drama series, Huyen Jung for Squid Games. That was the first time that a foreign TV show has won the Best Actor and Best Actress awards. Outstanding performance by an ensemble in a comedy series, Ted Lasso. Expected that. Outstanding performance by a male actor in a comedy series. Also expected this, Jason Sudeikis for Ted Lasso. Outstanding performance by a female actor in a comedy series, Jean Smart in Hacks, because that's Jean Smart. Outstanding performance by a male actor in a television movie or limited series. Michael Keaton for Dope Sick. He's going to win the Emmy, I tell you that right now, so that's good. Outstanding performance by a female actor in a television movie or limited series. Kate Winslet for Mayor of Easttown. She's also going to win the Emmy. Outstanding performance by a stunt ensemble in a motion picture is No Time to Die. Outstanding performance by a stunt ensemble in a comedy or drama series, Squid Game. And that's it. So there's your SAG Award winners. The BAFTAs are coming up, I think. Academy Awards are going to be coming up. So we got all kinds of stuff rolling through here. So that is it. We are done for this first week of March 2022. Next week, we turn our clocks ahead an hour. So we got to do this a little bit sooner, because if I end at this time next week, it'll be 2:02 a.m. and not 1:02 a.m. So have a pleasant week, and we'll see you later. And let's hope things don't go too crazy this week. And the temperature is going to be crazy here in Maryland. Bye.